So this area on the farm is recently had a kiln like that one demolished, and all the siding on there is tar paper held on with like roofing nail type fasteners. So the farm owner here decided to just smooth everything into the ground with a skid steer. So we're going to try to pick up anything out of the ground because it's eventually going to come up with rain and frost. So we're going to use this magnet to pick up any debris that might be stuck on the ground after demolition, and also construction. That building on the left just got built, so there's bound to be some kind of metal scrap on the ground here. And again, we got the magnet in front of the Kubota, so we don't have to run over the nails before we pick them up. It allows for more maneuverability as well. You can see what you're sweeping. And then over in that corner on the right, there's a scrap metal area. So they dump all of their excess scrap metal that's from the farm, broken equipment, stuff like that. So there's going to be some kind of debris out here. We just try to clean it up for them and see the performance of this magnet. So the wheels are really coming in handy here because it's very uneven ground. You can just kind of drive around and not have to worry about the magnet striking the ground. Then even if it does, you got that aluminum housing, so you don't have to worry about it too much. Now, because we got it on the front of this Kubota, it's easily height adjustable. You just use the snow plow hydraulics to lift it up and down. And then we also have the secondary adjustment using that new bracket on the side. We can change the height pretty quickly. Here's another section of the farm we're sweeping. This is a workshop area, and as much as these guys say they don't do it, everyone sweeps stuff out the door. So there's going to be some kind of metal over here just for working on stuff. Stuff gets missing, you drop stuff. That's the way it goes. So there's another benefit of having this on the front of your machine instead of trying to tow it or hanging off the back, is despite the fact that we're hitting a little bit of corn here, it's very maneuverable. You can see exactly where you need to go, therefore you're less likely to damage anything. So if you're trying to cover large areas of the ground quickly, and you got tight spaces like this that you want to clean, because obviously this is where stuff's getting dumped in the back 40 where you don't see it, having it on the front makes it a lot easier to see what you're doing. Got that nice protective aluminum sleeve. There you go. Nice tight little corridor here. This is the 86-inch magnet, I believe, and you can just thread the needle with it because you can see either side of the magnet while you're working. If it was behind you, you'd probably be hitting a lot more stuff because you're just focusing on where the front of your machine's going to be rather than where the sweeper is. Light work. On that same farm where the county comes to dump their excess fill. You'll see to the left there's a big pile of dirt, so that just comes from wherever they're excavating or cleaning anything out. So we figured this would be a good place to run the magnet as well, just because it's a dumping ground, so there's going to be bound to be something here. I already get a couple screws already. So that there is the more rough part of the dumping area. This is where they actually scrape everything up and dump it all out. So they got big pile of used concrete there that's torn out of the ground for some reason. It's just the county's excess fill area. And people come here from time to time to scoop up mulch to use in gardens. So it's good to get any kind of metal we can out of here before it ends up in the garden in your tomato. He was in charge of roads for like 15 years. Here's yet another clean-off video. I'll demonstrate one more time. We just swept through this area where the county dumps all of their excess road debris from excavation excavation and tearing up roads and fixing roads and that sort of thing. So we found quite a bit of metal here, including a nice hydraulic coupling, but we'll pull this sleeve off. It's going to clean everything off nicely, and then we'll get the power stick out and I'll just get a tight shot of what's left over on the ground. So for clean off, all you got to do is flip a little aluminum latch on that side. There's an aluminum latch on this side. And then on the front here's a little linch pin. Pull this pin out, set it on the magnet if you want to hold it. And there's a little bushing with a hole through it that interfaces obviously with the pin and holds the wheel on. So once those two are off, it's pretty quick to pull off. Take your wheel off, and then obviously these latches are undone. And there's a nice handle here for you. So this handle comes out and upwards, which allows you to pull from a standing height rather than being bent over all the time. So this aluminum sleeve doesn't crush against the magnet like our plastic ones do, because it's a nice rigid surface here, because our other ones, they would normally flex in and makes it really hard to pull off. But since this one's aluminum, it's really rigid, and it's got these PVC bushings in the corners so that it slides nicely. It's not aluminum on aluminum, you're aluminum on plastic, which is less friction. So we'll pull that off. And even with all the stuff it's still really to pull off. And we found that it's easier just to get it right to the end there. And also when you're cleaning off without holding it all the way off the magnet, like if you leave the sleeve on a little bit, there's no risk of leaving any little bit behind on the actual magnet housing. Because if you have anything left over on here, it's going to get caught between the sleeve and the magnet, and then it's a pain to put it back on. So we'll just make sure we get everything off that we can here. That seems clean. And then just reverse the process. Slide that back up. So just slide it back on like that. Line up your latches. Put your wheel back on with the pointy side in. Space obviously. And then put your bushing on. With this little collar here, line the holes up. Put your linch pin through. Like that. Get the latch on the other side and you're done. So there's a little bit of the debris we collected just from sweeping this dumping area. Quite a bit, quite a few big chunks of steel. There's a nice big bolt there and some hydraulic fittings and a lot of nails, so we'll get that out of here and move on.